These are really overpriced. People aren't thinking about fair pricing here. They are just looking for one big sale and looking to get rich off of others' ignorance. Let's explore these realities and unpack the mysteries behind these things happening on the island and communities around us.
The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan. Big up yourself, whether you're there yard or you're there abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. This video that we're going to be showing with you was recorded previously, and we decided that we were going to share this with you because at this point where people are needing to rebuild their houses in some areas, it is worth people understanding some of the costs that are going to be involved as people who have lost their houses, concrete houses or whatever structure it was, are now needing to rebuild, and see some of the cost factors that they're going to need to be considering in the same way that somebody is building afresh would need to factor in. So let's finish off this conversation. Jamaica has many situations that are unique to the island, like many other countries do. It also has a lot more that are general to the global market and to the governance and also the economy. The real estate market in Jamaica has certain unique features in how it functions based on the social conditions and cultural practices within the country. Other aspects are simply no different to what they are in other countries elsewhere. The sale prices for houses in Jamaica is considered inflation or inflated by many Jamaicans faced with the prospect of buying property and realizing what the actual costs are. Some are unable to understand the maths or the economics used to arrive at the prices. Therefore, we are going to break down how much it would cost to build a 3-bedroom house, for example, in Jamaica. Now, according to generic Google search, the cost ranges from approximately 90,000 USD to over 130,000 USD. And this really depends on a series of things, namely the size in terms of square footage and the finishes in terms of the quality interior finishes that people are going to want to use when they complete the shell of the house. And also we need to factor in the roofing choices that people are going to make for what they want to put on their houses. Costs can be broken down to about 90 USD to 130 USD per square foot, and this is for material and labor. A 2022 estimate put the cost at approximately Jamaican dollars 14,000 to 20,000 per square foot, which does compare to this Google search quantity that we were given. Most Jamaican houses range within 1,200 and 1,700 square feet in terms of the size. So we'll estimate for a 1,500 square foot house. And this is 21 million to 30 million for building the shell according to the quote that we had just given you. And we will take the middle position for this and put it at about 25.5 million. Remember that the costs we quote here are costs that you would pay to registered companies that are doing construction, and therefore you might be able to get these at lower rates if you personally know people who do construction in the country. Now, in addition to this building cost, remember that you're going to be needing to buy the land that you're going to build on. Being modest, most houses that you're going to come across in Jamaica are usually built on quarter acre, and these are in subdivisions or suburban areas. And you'd be looking from around 4 million Jamaican dollars and upwards. Land in recent developments and some of the estates are typically 1/8, 1/7, 1/6 acres, and they range upwards of 4 million. So we'll build in a suburb or a subdivision, and as a result we're going to make sure that it's somewhere that is close to a city center, and it's also where the prices are going to be relatively lower because of the conditions where we are moving it to. So we'll budget 5 million for the land, even if we need to go further away from the city center in order to achieve this. Now, before any building work can start on the land, there need to be an architectural plan that is implemented for the development. There are consultations fees, which are often charged per visit and with a base rate plus your travel cost for the architect to come out to the site. Now, they design and submit to the municipality corporation for approval, and this is usually 5 to 15% of the building cost of the building that you're making, and this is approximately 1.275 million to 3.825 million Jamaican dollars. There are also costs for additional prints should you need additional prints of the architectural plan and drawings, and these are usually costed at about 3,000 Jamaican dollars per set of 10 sheets. When your plan is then submitted to the municipality corporation, there are additional fees that you're going to be needing to pay in terms of getting a permit approved. Now, the permit processing is at Jamaican dollars $127 per square meter for a single dwelling building, and therefore, considering that it's 1,500 square feet that we're looking to build, this is 139.4 square meter, and this cost is approximately 17,703, and there could be additional costs that haven't been factored in this calculation right here. Once the municipality corporation has approved the building plan that were submitted, then the site needs to be prepared. So this might include the clearing of trees, stones, debris, or leveling the land, sorting the drainage, testing the soil quality, and any likely contaminations that are there to be treated so that the site meets the building requirements and regulations before construction can begin. These building site preparation could also include excavation and foundation work, engineering and quantity surveyor experience that you're also going to be employing as consultants. The engineer and quantity surveyor is usually approximately 1.5 million to 3 million Jamaican dollars, and this is usually for the entire project build. The cost for excavation and the foundation work in Jamaica for a 3-bedroom house, this can range from approximately 3.9 million to 4.2 million, but this is a rough estimate and can vary significantly based on the property size and the complexity as well as the terrain of the land that you're going to be building on. There is also an additional cost for inspection so that the property can be connected to the national grid for electricity and water, and using the specialists that will ensure that the building passed this inspection. Now, the typical cost for JPS when you are looking at inspection for a 3-bedroom house in Jamaica can range from 25,000 to over 80,000 for electrical inspection alone, depending on who the inspector is. Whilst there are no specific inspection fees that you would need to pay for National Water Commission NWC, you may encounter administrative fees for services like a change of ownership or other administrative charges. Once the shell is completed, the roofing options also need to be considered, and the cost of roofing a 3-bedroom house in Jamaica can range from approximately 1.5 million to over 4 million, depending heavily on the materials that you're going to be using. So, for example, if you wanted to use stone-coated sheets versus zinc, so it also factors in here the labor and also the specific roof design that you're going to be using. A basic zinc roof design is at the lower end, whilst a stone-coated steel roof with custom woodwork will be significantly more expensive. Now, once all of that is done and the house is watertight and shut up, you now need to consider the type of finishes that you're going to be using. So this includes the windows, the tiles, the fixtures, and whether or not these are going to significantly increase your cost, because if you want very high-end finish, then of course it's going to impact on the price that you're going to be paying. So this is about meeting the needs and the taste and specification of the homeowner or the housing market. So finishes like premium tiles, custom cabinetry, granite countertops, and also advanced fixtures will add a considerable sum to the base cost that we've mentioned. So that sums up the different different expenses that you would pay to build a 3-bedroom house in Jamaica at a 1,500 square feet in size on a 1/4 acre in a subdivision or in the suburbs. Of course, this is not professional advice. It was just to give you a mock-up of an idea as to what it would cost. And there are costs that we haven't included here because we're not able to do that because we haven't gone through the process or had specific consultations with people in the construction industry in order to give you all of the other breakdown of costs. However, now that we have looked at some of the costs for a seamless construction and seen where all of the money is going, hopefully that will help with understanding how much it costs or could cost you to build a house in Jamaica. It probably also explains why it is that Jamaicans tend to build and then decide that this is their forever home and stay there rather than choosing to sell and go through the process all again. For those of you who feel like this is quite a daunting process and not something that you would want to explore and you would probably prefer the prospects of buying, well, with the building information in mind, people selling their houses would normally be considering the cost of building. They would look at the local comparables that are in the market in terms of what has been sold at the time of their investment and the construction process, and also the property management which would have cost them as well, because this ranges from about $500,000 to even 10% of the building cost to get a project manager to run the management of the overall construction. So local comparables or comps is used in the United Kingdom, it is used in the United States of America, and it is also used in Canada. The local comparables looks at the square footage building costs as well as the market price at the point to guide them in deciding on a price for their property. So for houses in Mandeville, Jamaica, for example, the local comparable ranges in price from Jamaican 31 million up to Jamaican 464,656,238, and I'm using the exact amount that I was given when I did the research as to what those prices are. Now, the lower end was a 3-bedroom on a 1/4 acre of land, and the upper end was a 7-bedroom on a 2.5 acres of land. The local comparable prices are based on the size in terms of square footage. It's also based on the features and the location. It also depends on the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, the property condition, the finishes, the facilities, and the recent sale prices within that local. These are some of the intricacies of the Jamaican real estate market and the cost of building, and how it also impacts on new build as well as resale prices. What's your view on building or buying? Do you believe that the prices of houses are a fair representation of cost throughout? Do you currently own property in Jamaica? If not, is that on the cards for you? There are people who can come and build their property for less, of course, as mentioned before. These prices are professional estimates as found on websites and on Google search data. If you know trusted builders and people in construction, you can realize your vision on a much tighter budget. However, it is something that you are going to need to work out. Whatever you do, let us know your views in the comment section below. We're looking forward to hearing. So, if it has such a profound impact on clothing, how then does it impact on the makeup that people use, for those people who use makeup whether they're doing it for special occasions or when it's just their everyday routine? How would it impact the undertone, their tone, and the makeup that they use?
So, people tend to have specific makeup routines. Because of their undertone, and they want to be able to wear the variety of clothes. For example, in winter, they have a specific makeup routine for that. For example, me, I'm darker in winter, so I would have, for example, foundation that match my skin for them. And in the summer, because I'm lighter then, I would have the color that matches my shade for them.
Okay.
So people tend to have that.
So it's not just about their complexion and getting something that matches their complexion. It's also about checking their undertone to make sure that it's going to be suitable for it. So they have to balance the two things, the hues of their undertone and also their skin tone.
Because in makeup, there's something that people use called color correctors. Example, say they have dark circles under their eyes. Depending on your undertone, depends on the color corrector you get, so that your skin looks blended. Because sometimes if you use the wrong one, it might make it look a bit wrong. So there's a specific shade for your specific undertone. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I see.
And for some people, it's hard to find, which is why people tend to go to more expensive brands that have more varieties. And there are actually brands out there who customize it for like people to go and like as PR, for example. Yeah, they go out and they get it customized to them, and then they use it and they can promote it and stuff.
Okay.
Which is something that I think that people like us need more of, because there tends to be less shades for people like us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they need a wider range on their palette in terms of their color palette to then be able to mix and blend to get the right shade for them throughout the different seasons of the year, because of the fact that their color can look different at different seasons, their natural skin tone. Okay, I understand that, because sometimes you see people and you think, oh, this person looks a lot lighter or this person looks a lot darker, and sometimes we just put it down to the fact that, oh, in the summer they get a suntan and in the winter they are, especially when you live in temperate countries, you're not getting as much sunlight, so we think, okay, that's the reason. But part of it also is their undertone,
especially for neutral people.
Okay, well, thank you so much for explaining it. I've learned something new.
The Jam Fam family, where I living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. The Jam Fam family, where I living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. The Jam Fam family, Jam Fam, come hang with me, yeah.
Thank you for staying with us here on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. We look forward to reading your comments, and we say bye for now. Take care and walk good. See you in the next one.